Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, Megan. So how's the day so far?
Pretty good. Yeah. How about yours?
Well, it's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Megan, Rituals of Death was out on November 11th. So, would you like to tell me a bit about the songwriting and production behind this new album?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this album has been a long time coming. We definitely sat on it throughout COVID and everything and waited to release it. Throughout that, we kind of realized as people do when they have a lot of time on their hands, that we kept tinkering with it. So we ended up actually re-recording and adding a whole lot of stuff to it and really just getting it to the place that we wanted it to be. A lot of the writing went down throughout COVID, so it's a pretty, you can tell through the themes of it and all of the songs, lyrical content, even the instrumentals. It's a pretty dark album, and it's I I think it's what people expected of us, but also it has evolved. Our sound definitely has evolved, and we definitely tried a lot of new things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. And any particular concept or a theme the album was focused on?
Really just how dark everything was, and it really plays to the name Rituals of Death. Each song has kind of like a death element in it, whether it be, someone who's bringing it, or after it, or things like that. They really follow those patterns along, like your typical death metal, but just a little bit more.
Wonderful, wonderful. And talking about the album 10 mind-blowing death metal songs, put with a lot of darkness and a lot of energy and an astounding vocals from your side. Great work on the entire album. So as a band,
Thank you.
how, so as a band, how do you feel about the outcome of this album?
I am very proud of what I did on this album. Throughout the whole thing, even through the like re-recording process, I have kind of developed my vocals, and tried a lot of new things. You'll hear like the typical like false chord gutturals that I do, but I also played a lot with some fry screaming elements. There's even some like low, tunnely, almost deathcore vocals that I played with too. So I really just took some direction from my bandmates too throughout some of the stuff, and just attempted to try a few things. There's even not much, because it's not something we get into other than it just being like some texture and background stuff, but there's even some clean singing on a few of the songs that I did. So, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And did you guys do something special on the day of the release?
We did well, me and Corey, we ordered food and listened to it and everything. Our plan is to do an album release show at some point. We had just gotten back from a tour. So we had, I think, a week and a half from the tour, where we just kind of threw ourselves into promotion and getting everything ready for the release. So we have a group chat with the band that we all kind of just hung around in and kept sharing all the reactions. So that was fun, since all of our band members are kind of scattered about. So we typically do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how is the touring look for you guys by end of 2022 and 2023?
We are done touring for the year.
Hmm.
We have a local show to end out the year in Chicago, local-ish show, I would say Midwest, in Chicago next month on the 16th. But that'll be it for touring. We're gonna spend these cold winter months amping up for a busy touring schedule next year, and for writing some new stuff. I know it went way too long, from our last EP to our singles out to this album. So we definitely are hitting the ground running, already starting, writing down some lyrics for the next album, and have so many ideas. So we'll tour off of this album early spring and then keep going with the next one.
Wonderful, wonderful. And almost 11 months back, you put up an amazing video for Bone Mother, a great video, brutal video with a lot of animations inside of it. So, would you like to tell me a bit about this video and the making of this one?
Yeah, it's funny, we were kind of throwing around what song we'd like to release as singles and make videos for on this album, and Bone Mother was one of them. Our guitar player Troy had kind of thrown out the idea of a claymation video, and we were like, oh, I don't know, but if any song is going to work with that, it's going to be that one. So we got a hold of Shane Minot from Blood Budget Productions, and he put together, oh my gosh, just exactly what we wanted. It lyrically, I've always been drawn towards, like occult folklore and things like that. So the lore of Baba Yaga was very close to my heart, and I wrote off that and gave him kind of a basic storyline of things we wanted to see in it. And he really brought it into his own. He made it what it is. He also really stayed close to what we're about as a band. I think the video does a really good job of doing that. The tongue-in-cheek horror aspect of those still small elements of almost cheesy horror, but you bring it back with like how brutal some of that stuff is. So he did such a great job of towing that line, and that's what we strive to do in this band anyway, is like toe that line right there, even lyrically. So that's kind of how that one came about.
Wonderful, wonderful. And earlier this month, you put up the video for Postmortem. And do you have plans to come up with more video from this album, or is it the end?
So we have, I'm not positive yet. We'll kind of see. So yeah, we did those two. We have two lyric videos that are up for other singles on the album, or three actually, I think, because Hidden Hideous is on there too. And then as a bonus track, we threw in From Hell, so that one already has one. So we'll kind of see. We actually had one video for another song on the album that was halfway done, and then some stuff, it got lost, unfortunately. So we'll kind of see what brings. We might just dive into some new stuff right away.
Oh,
um but I guess we'll see.
wonderful, wonderful. And talking about Casket Robbery, it's almost 12 years of existence. So how do you feel about the road so far?
It's been great. I have been on board for about 5.5 years. I can't believe it's been 5.5 years since I did my first tour. And how we've grown, I think, individually and as a band is really apparent in this album. Uh, all of us kind of keep striving to keep going up and to keep bettering ourselves musically and as a band. So the response that this album is getting is kind of blowing all of us away. We're so excited. All of us work really, really hard on this and have been the past few years. And throughout COVID, through all the uncertainty of the road and things like that, it really pushed us this year to get back out there. And this last tour that we just came off of was our first tour back since COVID, and we are all kind of chomping at the bit to get out there again in the next few months.
Fantastic. And any plans to take Casket Robbery to the other sides of the world?
Yes, yes. We were gearing up in 2020 to actually go overseas. So that was a huge hit to us. But we are keeping our eyes on that, and hopefully very, very soon we'll be able to hit abroad and bring this to everyone out there.
Wonderful, wonderful. And would you like to share some of the highlight moments in 2022 for you guys?
Yeah, I think our highlights were definitely releasing this album finally. And this last tour that we were just on, the kickoff show to the tour with us in Summoner's Circle was the Tennessee Metal Devastation Festival, that was put on by Metal Devastation, and it was a full day festival with a bunch of bands outside in a small little town in Lexington, Tennessee, and it was packed. It was probably the best show that we've played this year so far. The response from fans, the response from everyone there was just so wonderful, and we had a blast. We sold out of t-shirts. We did so we can't wait for festival season again next summer. We will be amping up to get on as many of those as possible.
Wonderful. And did you guys make some kind of merchandise for Rituals of Death?
We did. We have lots of merch. We have so much merch at casketrobbery.com is where you can find everything. Just click on our store. I make some physical things for it, like candles and such. You can find shirts, hoodies, t-shirts, like everything on there.
Wonderful. And what would be some of the plans for 2023?
Um, Touring a lot, getting on the road, and we're working on that actually right now. Have a few things set, maybe a few local shows, and then festival season will be hitting hard. So submitting to all of those and just getting ourselves out there again.
Wonderful. And being a dark horror themed band, did you guys do something special on the Halloween today?
We did. We kind of we have like kind of a tradition where we sit at home and I'll make a big dinner, like big meal, and hand out candy to all the trick-or-treaters. But we watch so many horror movies, just a lot of our favorites and a lot of the like really awful cheesy ones. So that was the week that we got back from the tour. So we were pretty tired. But everything was decorated because our house is pretty much Halloween all the time. So that was really fun for us.
Wonderful. And Megan, finally, what would be the message that you want to give to the fans around the world?
We love you. The fan response and the relationships that we've built with our fan base are so incredibly important to us. We attempt to make ourselves available on all streaming or all social media platforms. And we are very active on all of them. So we've got a really fun Facebook group. If you want to come join it, it's Coven of Souls. We've got a fun Discord. I've been streaming on Twitch, playing video games a whole lot lately. We have a Patreon for our fans, for those that just want a little bit of extra. We have extra merch in there that we send out. They are the first to know about everything. We have mailing lists, and everything you can find on our links is at casketrobbery.com.
Wonderful. And Megan, I want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity that you gave me today to have a great interview with you. And thank you so much for the amazing album Rituals of Death that you guys put up this year. Thank you so much for all the wonderful music for the last
Thank
12 years. So,
you.
and I wish you and all band all success and hope to see you guys on the road real soon.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You have a good day and take care of
You
yourself.
too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.